Canada. This is the nation's music station, Much Music.
Knitwear. It's comfortable, it's easy to wear, and it's fashionable. Monica Jandrisits designs her own knitwear collection under the label of Cheshyr, and she invited us down to her Toronto studio to show us her fall-winter collection. I'll tell you this much, it is fashionable, and anybody can wear it.
I know you so well. I can tell by the sound of your voice if you're really in love with me. And you are. And you are.
To me, knitwear is just the perfect clothing for the Canadian environment, for one thing, and for modern women at another time, because it moves with you, it breathes with you, it's so easy to travel with. And in knitwear, I can design my own fabric. So I'm assured that I have something that's unique as opposed to what everybody else has, because I can go into a store and I won't see my things because I designed that stitch, and then I design the clothing out of that stitch, and I dye my own colors, so my colors are my own as well. So it's sort of a total creative type of a freedom that I have.
In the past, you've used Art Deco and also an ethnic feel to past lines. In this line, what's your biggest influence?
I would say beauty more than anything else. I think in the past, a lot of my collections were just really wild and really crazy. There were still always that emphasis on wearable, but for fall 1990, which is what I'll be showing, what I really tried to do is to do beautiful things. I moved into a deep color palette, and I tried to work with really fine textures and really fluid fabrics as opposed to heavier fabrics that I'd normally be working with. And softer as well. I think in the way styles are going right now, it's definitely softer, more of a natural shoulder line, something a little bit rounder, just attention to detailing and beauty.
Manufacturing your own line right here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's almost unheard of. How does this thing work?
How does it work? Okay. It's very temperamental, so we all have to cross our fingers here. Basically, the way that it works, there's the dial and cylinder, which is the top and the bottom part of this. It's a double bed machine for those people that knit, which means that it can knit a rib fabric, any sort of a back fabric. Now, by releasing the brake, which we've actually already released, we turn the knob and then we give it a crank and it turns. Now basically there are 4 different feeds knitting at the same time around. Right now it's knitting a fabric that we don't have a swatch of, which is basically like a rib back plain jersey fabric. It's a knitting yard good. Now if you want to come around this side, I'll show you this part. This is what actually programs the machine. This is the drum. What the drum does is it programs the start and the finish of panels. If I was knitting panels, it would tell me where the start of one panel was, where the finish of another one was, whether it had a rib on the bottom, whether it had a plain bottom on it, like what this has. It has a plain bottom. Now that will program that. How does it work? There are pegs in the drum, and the pegs are positioned at different spots to tell the machine to do something at a different spot, to tell it to cast on, to cast off, and this will rotate whenever it comes to the end of a panel. Now what triggers this are the pegs on the chain. Now the chain is what is adjusted basically to change the length of the panel. Now each one of these links in the chain will mean a certain number of rows, and you calculate that out to know how many links in the chain you need to make a different length of piece. So every piece comes out as a tubular piece of fabric with an actual finished edge on it, or if you want, which I have right now, you take the string off and you just knit plain yardage. You can knit yard goods.
Okay, now I guess this is getting a little bit detailed, but once you knit your pieces,
right?
Do you cut them and then sew them into just like normal fabric?
There are a lot of different rules with knitwear. That it's a totally different sort of a medium than fabric. There are a lot of rules that are broken in knitwear. There are a lot of rules that you can break in knitwear that you can't break in fabric. So it's a real trial thing for me. Would like to challenge my machinery a little bit more. I'm still getting to know it. It's very limited since it is old machinery. It's not computerized, so there's a lot that I'm used to being able to do with knitting machines from working in the industry that I can't do on these machines. So I just want to experiment with them a little bit more. I'd like to get into importing a few more yarns, working on different type of textures, and developing a lot more stitches. I think The secret to succeeding in knitwear is to develop technologies in stitches and come up with an interesting fabric that nobody else has. And that takes a lot of experimenting time. That really takes a knowledge of the machinery. Now, I'd like to eventually expand it to more computerized machineries to be able to do a lot more in terms of design. But for now, I'm pretty happy working with these.
Interesting product, a fashion show, a design collection, we have to know about it here at Fashion Notes so we can do a story on you. You have to write to us at this address, if you would please. Fashion Notes, care of Much Music, 299 Queen Street West, Toronto, Ontario, M5B2Z5, and we'll try and help you out.